Hi everyone, welcome to the session on CS22071 Agile methodology. Today we are going to see the topic as the feature driven development from Unit 5 Agility and Quality Assurance. So first one is that we are going to see the introduction to feature driven development. Now let's talk about the feature driven development as simply it is a FDD. FDD is an iterative and model driven agile methodology, which means it follows a structured approach and repeating small cycles to achieve the big goals. It mainly focuses on the short and well defined development cycles. So each cycle is planned around the features that bring the direct value to the client. So rather than working on the random tasks, teams build what the customer truly needs. That the essence of FDD. FDD fits best for large, complex and long-term projects that need both the scalability and structure. It helps the big team stay organized while still being flexible. The guiding principle behind the FDD is the designing and building the feature. This means every step of the process should lead to a measurable working feature, something the client can see and use. What makes the FDD unique is that it blends the agile adaptability with disciplined engineering practices. So, while it stays flexible like agile, it also ensures the strong design and modeling disciplines. So, each iteration or mini cycle in FDD delivers the tangible working software aligned with the client's priorities. This keeps the project focused and meaningful. So, FDD ensures the visibility, accountability, and quality in every development phase. Everyone knows what's happening, who is responsible, and how progress is measured. That's what makes the FDD so powerful for real world projects. In next slide, we will see the origin and background of the FDD. Now let's look at how feature driven development or FDD actually began. FDD was created by the Jeff D. Luca and it was inspired by the object modeling concept developed by the Peter Code. So you can think of it as a collaboration between the strong design principles and practical project experience. It first emerged in the late 1990s when the software industry started facing the serious challenges in handling the large scale projects. So traditional methods were too rigid and even early agile ideas needed more structure. That's when FDD, feature driven development, came into the picture. The first implementation of the feature driven development happened in the Singapore banking project and it was great success. That success proved that the feature driven development could work even for a large and complex enterprise systems. The beauty of the feature driven development is that it combines the iterative progress, which means continuous improvement, with a model driven rigor, or in other words, a strong design foundations. This makes it perfect for enterprise grade systems that need both the flexibility and discipline. It helps bring structure into agile development without losing its flexibility. Teams can still adapt to change but with a clear plan and measurable outcomes. The key focus on FDD is on predictability, measurable progress, and a team accountability. Everyone knows what's being built, how far they have come, and who is responsible for each feature. And because of this strong balance between structure and agility, FDD has now become one of the preferred agile method, especially for large, complex, distributed projects where the teams work from the different location but need a unified disciplined approaches. Now we'll see the next slide, the core philosophy of the FDD. Now that we have seen how FDD began, let's understand its core philosophy. What really drives this methodology? In FDD, everything revolves around the concept of feature. A feature is treated as the smallest unit of the client recognized value. In simple terms, if a customer can see it, use it, and benefit from it, it is a feature. The main goal of the FDD is to deliver the tangible working functionality and to do it regularly and predictably. This means after every short development cycle, something is real, useful, should be ready for the client to see. Every feature that is developed must provide the measurable benefit to the customer, not just something technical or internal, but something that's at the real value. Now, unlike some agile models that focus only on flexibility, FDD gives the equal importance to discipline and planning. It believes that iterative progress should still have structure so that teams move forward in a steady, organized way. So, another key part of this philosophy is ownership and collaborations. Every feature as an owner, someone responsible for its completion, but at the same time, teams collaborate closely to integrate everything smoothly. The process support flexibility in design so teams can adapt to change but also control in execution, meaning they don't lose the track of goals and deadline. And if we summarize the entire philosophy in one line, it is the model the domain first, understand the problem deeply, then design and build the feature by feature. That's what makes the FDD a perfect balance between the agility, structure and real customer value. In next slide, we will see the what are the key characteristics of the FDD. Now that we understand the philosophy behind the FDD, let's look at these key characteristics. What makes this methodology stand out? First, FDD is completely feature based. That means both the planning and delivery revolve around the features. Every plan starts by identifying what features the customer values most, and every delivery cycle ensures those features are built and demonstrated. It focuses strongly on client valued outcomes, not just the technical deliverables. So the goal is not merely to write a code or complete task, it's to create something the client can see, use and appreciate. Next, FDD works in short iterative cycle, typically lasting 1 or 2 weeks. This allows for the frequent feedback, regular progress checks and early identification of issues, which makes the process dynamic and responsive. It also supports the scalability, meaning it can easily handle the large teams or projects. So this is possible because of its well defined roles and accountability structures. Everyone knows what they are responsible for, which keeps the workflow organized and efficient. FDD also encourages the modeling and documentations. This ensures that everyone shares the common understanding of the system. It's not just about the writing code, it's about the visualizing and communicating how the system works. Another strength of the FDD is its focus on measurable progress. Teams track the success by the number of the completed features, which gives a clear and tangible measure of the advancement. Finally, because of all these structured steps, FDD ensure the predictable delivery timelines and high team productivity. Teams stay motivated, progress is visible, and clients can trust that deliverables will arrive on time, feature by feature. So overall, FDD blends agility with structure, making it one of the most reliable methods for the managing the complex software project. Next, we'll see the 5 basic phases of FDD. Now let's look at one of the most important part of the feature driven development. It's a 5 basic phases. These phases form a backbone of the FDD. They make sure the entire process from understanding the problem to delivering the final product happens in a structured yet flexible way. The first phase is to develop an overall model. So in this phase, the team works to define the business domain and architecture. Simply put, this is where we understand what the system is all about. We create a big picture model and something that helps everyone visualize how the system functions as a whole. Once the model is ready, we move to the second phase, that is a build a features list. Here is focus on identifying and prioritizing all the small and client valued features. Remember, in FDD everything revolves around the features. So this list becomes the art of the project. It tells us what need to be built and in what order based the client value. The third phase is plan by feature. In this step, features are assigned to specific iterations and ownership given to the developer responsible for delivering them. This helps create a clarity who does what and when. It keeps the accountability high and confusion low. Then comes to the fourth phase, design by feature. Now the team create the detailed design models for each feature. This is where creativity meets the structure. The design is prepared, reviewed and refined before the implementation. It ensures that the development happens smoothly without the rework later. So finally the fifth phase is build by feature. This is where developers actually implement, test, integrate each feature. It happens incrementally, meaning after every small build, the system grows a stronger and more functional. So together these five steps form a systematic yet flexible development process. So each phase produces the measurable outputs which help the meaningful transparency control and steady progress throughout the project. So FDD magic lies in the rhythm: model it, list it, plan it, design it, build it, finally feature by feature. In next slide we will see the phase 1, that is a develop an overall model. Let's begin with the first phase of FDD, developing an overall model. Now, before any coding begins, FDD insists on understanding the system at a high level. This is where the domain model comes into play. The domain model defines the business entities, meaning the key objects are elements in the system and the relationship with each other. For example, if you are building the banking system, your entities could be a customer, account, transaction. The relationship could be things like a customer owns the multiple accounts and each account has a many transaction. To make this model accurate, collaboration is crucial. Domain experts, the people who have understand the business, work together with the developers, the people who understand the technology. This teamwork ensures that the what's built truly reflect the real world systems. This shared understanding then becomes the foundation for all further feature development. It's like setting a map before starting the journey. Every next step depends on how well you define this model. The model also acts as a visual blueprint, something everyone can look at to make a decisions or clarify doubts. It keeps the communication smooth and avoid confusion later. And here is the something important: the model is not static; it evolves iterative as new requirements come in or feedback is received. So if the business changes direction slightly, the model can adapt without disrupting the whole project. So another key advantage is early validations. By checking the model early, the team can prevent the major design implementation error later in the project, so saving the both the times and effort. So in short, a strong and clear model forms the foundation of the FDD structure at agile nature. Structure because it's model driven, but the agile because it evolves continuously as a project grows. In next slide, we will see the build a features list. So after developing the overall model, the next step in FDD is to build the feature list. And this is one of the most important phase because it directly connected to what the client actually wants. In FDD, feature is defined as a small client value functionality, something it provides a measurable outcomes or benefit to the user. Think of a feature like building block, a small, clear, meaningful. For example, in a banking app, view account balance or transfer money between the accounts can be the individual feature. Each feature is designed to be a small enough to complete it quickly, usually within 1 to 10 days. This short cycle ensures rapid progress and allows the client to see visible improvement regularly. Now, once all of these features are identified, they are grouped into sets that represent the logical business domain. For the instance, the features are related to user accounts might from one set while transaction related features from another. This makes the management and prioritization much easier. The feature list plays a big role in defining the project scope and priorities. It gives everyone, especially stakeholders, a clear view of what's being built, how much progress has been made, and what's coming next. For stakeholder, this list becomes the monitoring tool, helping them track a real customer value creation instead of just technical work. So in FTT, features are the main units used for the planning, reporting, tracking progress. So rather than talking about the task completed, the team talks about the features delivered. And that's a big mindset shift. This approach ensures the focus is always on delivering working functionality, not just the finishing the small technical activity. So in this phase, the team breaks the entire system into small, meaningful pieces that deliver the value quickly and visibly. And that's what the FDD client driven and progress oriented. In next slide, we will see the topic as the phase 3, that is plan by feature. Now let's move on to the third phase of the feature driven development, that is the plan by feature. So once the feature list is ready, the next question is who will do what, when. That's what this phase is answer. In this stage, features are assigned to specific teams or individuals based on their skills and sense of ownership. Every person or team becomes responsible for successful delivery of the assigned features. This gives the clarity, accountability right from the beginning. The chief programmers, who act like a technical leads, play an important role here. They distribute the responsibilities among the developers and testers, making sure the workload is balanced and everyone knows their part. Planning is not just about the assigning work, it also involves setting the realistic timelines, estimating the effort, and identifying the possible risks. So, before the actual development starts, the team has a clear understanding what can be achieved, how long it might take, and what challenges could arise. Another crucial aspect here is the dependency management. Some features might depend on others to be completed first. By resolving these dependencies early, FDD enables the smooth concurrent development where the multiple features can progress at the same time without blocking each other. So even though plan is structured, FDD still keeps the room for iteration planning, meaning the team can adjust and stay flexible as new insights emerge while maintaining the control over the process. So throughout this phase, progress is monitored continuously. This ensures both the accountability and transparency. Everyone knows where the project stands and what coming next. So the result is predictable and incremental delivery of value stay fully aligned with the business needs. The phase 3 about making the solid plan that balance discipline with flexibility, ensuring that every features move smoothly from planning to implementation. Now we will move into the next slide, that is the phase 4 design by feature. Now we move on to the phase 4 design by feature, where the real creative and technical work begins here. In this phase, each feature starts with a detailed design model. The goal here is to accuracy and clarity. Before writing the single line of code, we make sure that everyone understands how the feature will be built and how it will be fit into overall system. To maintain quality, design inspections are conducted. So these inspections ensure that every design follows a proper coding and architecture standard, so that the system remains consistent and easy to maintain as it grows. Here, two key roles come together: the class owners and the chief programmers. They collaborate closely to create the object and sequence diagram, which does describe how different classes interact and how data flows through the system. The design themselves focus on three key principles: modularity, maintainability, and reusability. That means each component should be independent, easy to update, and reusable other parts of the systems, which saves the time, reduces the redundancy. To further improve the quality, peer reviews are held. These reviews help catch issues early, preventing what we call design drift. When design starts deviating from the original goal to technical debate, when shortcuts today lead to problems tomorrow. So this phase is not just about the diagram, it's the collaborative bridge between the configured and modeling and actual coding. The team refines the ideas, validates them technically, and ensure that what's designed can be smoothly implemented in the next phase. So finally, like a UML diagram, flowchart specifications serve as the reference for both the implementations testing. So design by the feature transform the idea into precise blueprints. It ensures that when development begins, there is no confusion, no rework, and everyone knows exactly what to build and how it fits into the big picture. Now we will see the next phase, that is the phase 5 build by feature. Now we have reached the final phase of FDD, that is build by feature. The phase where all the design work finally turns into working product. So in this phase, focus is on coding, testing, integrating the features that were carefully designed in the previous step. Each feature that we modeled earlier now comes to life as a developers begin to implement it. An important thing to note here is that developer implement the each features in a isolation first. That means they work on the feature independently to ensure it the functions perfectly on its own, and once it's tested they merge into the main build. This avoids a confusion and reduces the chance of conflict in the code base. To maintain the software stability, FDD uses the practice called continuous integration. This means that as each feature is completed, it's regularly merged and tested with the rest of the system. By doing this continuously, the team prevents the integration issues and keeps the software stable throughout the development. Next, every feature goes through the unit testing to make sure it performs exactly as expected before it deployed, and even after that features are reviewed and approved, nothing is marked as the complete until it is fully verified. The team also delivers the working increment frequently. This means stakeholders don't have to wait till very end of the C result. They get the regular updates and can test the real functionality and give the feedback early. This frequent delivery builds a trust and confidence among the client and managers. So overall, phase ensure the consistency, quality and measurable team velocity. The team keeps the steady rhythm of progress without compromising the reliability. So, build the feature is where planning meets execution. It's about turning every design feature into a fully functional, tested, integrated part of the product, ensuring that the value is delivered to the customer feature by feature, just as the FDD promise. In next slide, we'll see the what are the roles in the FDD. Now that we have gone through all the phases of FDD, let's understand the key roles involved in making this process successful. One of the strengths of FDD is that it has the clearly defined roles, so everyone knows exactly what they are responsible for. This avoids confusion, keeps the project smooth and well coordinated. Let's start with the chief architect. The chief architect defines the overall architecture of the system and ensures the design integrity. In simple terms, this person decides how the whole system should be structured, kind of the like an architect who designs the building layout before the constructions begins. Next, we have the feature owner. This person represents the stakeholders' priorities, meaning it makes sure that what the team builds actually aligns with the business needs. They also validate the business value of each feature, ensuring that every feature built truly matters to the customer. Then comes to the chief programmer, one of the most crucial role in a FDD. They are responsible for managing the feature assignments and technical coordinators. Think of them as the bridge between the management and the technical team, making sure that the developers and testers work together efficiently and the features are delivered according to the plan. The class owner is next. The role focus on the implementation and maintenance of specific classes or components in the system. So each class owner takes a full responsibility for the party they build. So if any issues arises in the modules, they are go to the person to fix it. Then we have the domain expert, the person who provides the business insights and help clarity requirements. They understand how the business works and explain it way that developed and translate it to a code. In many projects, this role is the vital for bridging the gap between the business users and the technical teams. So finally, the project manager, the role is to oversee the progress tracking, delivery and reporting. They ensure that the timelines are met, teams stay on schedule and the client is informed of progress regularly. All these roles work together and because each one of this quality defined, it ensures the accountability, transparency and effective communication across the projects. In short, FDD succeed because everyone knows their role, takes the ownership and collaborates, from the architect designing the big picture to the class owner perfect in the every detail. In next slide, we will see the topic as the benefits of the FDD. So deliver the frequent and tangible result through the small and completed features. It is also you provide the one best benefit and it provides the transparency in progress and tracking and reporting at all levels. And third one is it supports a large and distributed teams with the structured roles and responsibility. It also enhances the maintainability through the domain modeling and modular design. So combines the speed and quality by ensuring the disciplined iterative delivery. It also encourages the stakeholder trust through the predictable progress and milestone. A balanced agile flexibility with the engineering rigor for enterprise projects. So these are the benefits of the FDD. Here, what are the challenges means the initial domain modeling requires the time and skilled expertise. Yes. And second one is the process may feel the rigid for the smaller or rapidly changing projects. And third one is the strong reliance on documentation can slow down the early phase. And next one is the feature dependency management can be become the complex in the large system. Limited adaptability if priorities shift frequently mid cycle. It requires the mature teams and clear communication channel. Successful FDD adoptions demands the strong leadership and collaboration culture. And next one is the FDD versus other agile methods. FDD focus on design and feature modeling while the Scrum emphasizes the sprint planning. Scrum favors the lightweight management whereas the FDD introduce the structured modeling. Extreme programming stresses the coding practices. FDD prioritize the domain modeling. FDD suits the large scale long term projects. Scrum fits the small and flexible teams. FDD provides the detailed role definition. Scrum promotes the shared ownership. So both encourage the iterative development and the frequent delivery of value. So FDD enhances the predictability. Scrum emphasizes the adaptability and speed. In next slide, we will see the what are the overall summary. So what we have learned from this session means the feature driven development unites the agile principles with the structured modeling. It focuses on designing and building by feature for measurable progress. The five phases are create a disciplined yet flexible workflow for the teams, and also it defines the roles and accountability, improve the coordination and quality control. FDD ensures the consistency delivery of the small client value functionality. It is structured approach. It supports the scalability, visibility and complex projects. FDD remains an excellent choice for organizations seeking the balanced. So thank you for this sessions.